Hello, my name is Deb Z, and I'm a spiritual therapist. I spread knowledge, love, and ascension. Today I'm going to talk about self-sabotage and self-care. Self-sabotage refers to behaviors or thought patterns that hold us back and prevent us from doing what we want to do. We can sabotage ourselves in a number of ways. Blaming others when things go wrong. If we find fault elsewhere, whenever we face difficulties, we need to take a closer look at the part we play in our experiences. Choosing to walk away when things don't go smoothly. Moving on when times are hard for us might be the best solution for you at the time, but we need to see if we checked out too soon. Sometimes things work out for our benefit in the end if we just stayed with it. Working through challenges and problems help us grow. When we give up before we put in much effort, then we may not learn how to make a different choice in the future. Why do we procrastinate? Because we sometimes feel overwhelmed by what we need to do. We have trouble managing time, and we doubt our abilities or our skills. We can undermine ourselves and harm our relationship by being snarky and passive-aggressive. We date people who aren't right for us. Self-sabotaging behaviors often appear in relationships. Dating someone who does not check all of your boxes is a common type of self-sabotage. We can be attracted to the same personality that is no good for us, and the relationship always ends badly. Trying to make things work with a partner who has different goals than you for your future always ultimately ends in failure. It just can't work. We stay in a relationship that is going nowhere. We can have trouble stating our needs out loud. We have a hard time speaking up for ourselves, and we have a hard time getting our needs met. We put ourselves down, and we set a very high standard for ourselves than we do for others. When we fail to meet these standards, we become harder on ourselves and are self-destructive. Our toxic self-sabotaging might have helped us to survive in terrible situations, but we must realize it was just a tool at that time and not a permanent way of thinking. All the bad patterns we learned in childhood and the different patterns laid down in our earliest relationships often repeat themselves in relationships throughout your life. If we didn't get the support in our previous relationships, we can struggle in our newer relationships. It makes it hard to communicate effectively, but we must learn to advocate for our own needs. We fear failure, and this can stop us in our tracks. Wanting to avoid failure can lead us to avoid trying, so our unconscious mind might present us with excuses and ways to sabotage ourselves. We sabotage with our need to control every situation. Opening up to someone emotionally can feel incredibly vulnerable. Keeping things in, we maintain what feels like the upper hand. But in the end, we don't get the emotional intimacy that we need because we don't share our vulnerabilities. If we identify the behaviors that keep us stuck, admitting to ourselves that we are to blame, we need to learn what sets us off, our triggers. By tracking our triggers in a journal, practicing mindfulness, non-judgmental awareness for us and others, and being always aware of your thoughts and behaviors in the present moment. This all can help stop the self-sabotage. Each time we uncover a trigger, come up with one or two productive reactions to replace that trigger, that self-sabotaging behavior. It's okay to fail and be comfortable in it and then move on. To manage the fears, Work on accepting the realities and the pain. This isn't easy, but essential for happiness. Start small by viewing your next failure, whether it's a relationship gone bad or a missed opportunity at work, as a possibility for learning and for growth. Getting to really know ourselves better and exploring what we really want in life can help prevent sabotage. We must respect ourselves enough to work on ourselves. It raises the collective consciousness and helps us reach ascension. Self-love. It takes 3 days, 72 hours, for any light information to fully penetrate the molecular structure of the avatar body. The only way to expand the light within is to release the mortal patterns of knowledge, release the versions of you created just to survive. We became who we needed to be in order to survive this experience. But now it's time to become who we need to be so we can thrive in this experience. We allow the life we desire and deserve when we emerge by letting go of who we are no longer. There is never failure when experience is the outcome. You first have to be honest with yourself. Then you have to acknowledge your emotions. Then you need to accept yourself. God the Divine made you so unique. There is no one like you. Accept who you are with your special gifts. We are beautiful, we are strong, and we are enough. We all have issues because we all have our own stories. Sometimes we all snap back sometimes, so be easy on yourself. We must stop letting our potential go to waste, even if we don't feel confident or ready. People with less are making waves, so can you. How do we break bad patterns? By responding differently. It's self-destructive to see ourselves less than what we are, which is love. We must humble our ego, but not our love. We must love ourselves so much that anyone who wants you has to match your level and not anything else. A connected person draws their energy from the divine connection and leads to empowerment and love. If struggle has been all you've known, it's natural to self-sabotage your success and peace. The subconscious mind wants to keep us within what we know, even if it's painful for us. We must let go and break free to love ourselves fully. We are extensions of the God Ray, the divine, and have a universal right of happiness. Our society teaches us to constantly desire things, whether it's a life partner, money, a new object, snacks. We are taught to be in constant state of desire and desperation. Unknowingly, we can cause ourselves a lot of unnecessary suffering with this mindset. Our lives feel ruined when things don't pan out and we don't get our way. We need to have positive goals. We need to just coexist with them instead of attaching ourselves to them. To attract what we really want in life, we have to not care if we attain it. That is the secret. This draws our desires to us. The person who is in tune with the collective nexus becomes a radio receiver through which their voice of the nexus is transmitted, and manifestation can occur. We need to reprogram our minds by thinking and acting like you already reached your goals. By waiting, being in fear, it stops the forward motion of achievement. As we are always thinking in an abundant capacity, our brain will reprogram itself to suit our new habits and choices, and life will be so much better. Remember, we are not alone. Be well and be blessed.